Alrighty, everybody, thank you so much for bearing with us as we dealt with some technical difficulties here, but that's okay. We are back and ready. We're just going to go ahead and let Izzy restart her run, and we're ready to get this back on this show, back on the road. So take it away, Izzy Hope. We want to make sure we get this run in, because I know it's freaking dope.
Awesome. Well, third time's the charm. I'm joined by Spaghetti again. I'm just going to start the run in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so I'm gonna reintroduce this game. This is Disney Infinity Inside Out. The Inside Out playset I like to describe as kind of a Mario 3D World type of game in terms of the level design, the camera, character movement, all that stuff. We're able to play as all 5 of the original emotions from the first movie. We are going to be playing as Sphere for the majority of the run, just because he is the fastest character running-wise, and also he has this roll and dash that we're going to be doing, and also some other fun movement tech. Going to be doing some neat little platforming here on these hearts, just to skip some ledge grabs. And we're going to try to make this bridge cycle. Just barely didn't make it. That's okay.
I'm just going to pretend that never happened.
So, with this game, when did you start running this one?
So I started running this about 2 years ago, and this game actually only had like one runner, and it was pretty much a casual run at that point. So I actually, along with a couple of other people, have like completely routed this game from scratch and found all the skips. So there are these springs here, and we can actually dash off of the springs and do a neat little fly through the air called a spring boost there. Do another one around the corner.
Nice.
We also have these memories that we can put in these deposit stations, and what that usually does is that usually gets rid of these blocks here that will allow us to progress through the level. There are tons of those sections in the game that the game wants us to do, but we might be skipping a handful of them. We also have an extended spring boost there, which we do by holding the dash button. That lets us go a lot farther. And we're just gonna jump down here, and we're gonna do some card platforming in order to skip a memory with these blocks here. And make our way over here.
Do those cards always shoot at the same spot, or is it like tracking?
So
okay.
those cards are always at the same spot, so it's pretty consistent being able to jump on them.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's the end of the first level. One thing about this game is about half of the levels are 3D levels, like we just played, and half of them are 2D side-scrolling levels like this. And you would think that the side-scrolling levels would have less skips and less strats to them, and that would be true, except we have one little trick up our sleeves, where we're actually able to move around in 3D in these 2D levels, using a glitch called Dimension Break that we'll be doing coming up here. So we're
Can
just gonna...
everyone do Dimension Break, or is it just...
Yeah, all the characters can do Dimension Break. Basically, once we get to the next memory deposit station, if we try to deposit a memory and then throw the memory right after, it'll unlock the forward and backwards movement. Right now, I'm stuck going left and right, but we'll be able to move forward and backwards in order to... So we're going to do it right here, and then I'm actually going to jump on the collision of that gear in order to skip around that wheel and skip having to wait for that animation. And now I'm actually in Dimension Break right now, so I have to be very careful not to move forward or backwards, because the game's not really designed for this, so it's very easy for you to accidentally fall out of bounds, and the collision and the camera aren't really designed for this, so it's kind of hard to know if you're going to. So I'm actually using the D-pad right now to make sure I don't accidentally move forward or backwards. And then for sections like this, I'll use the analog stick. So I'm gonna jump on this wheel and try to get this checkpoint. Very nice. I'm gonna be doing one more skip to skip this wheel here. And should make a good cycle here.
Dimension
Very
breaking
nice.
it kind of, like the name suggests, breaks like the entire level.
It breaks so much. That was actually accidentally found I was testing some things out, and I accidentally placed a memory and then threw it, and then I'm like, wait, why am I out of bounds all of a sudden? Oh wait, that's a broken thing. This breaks the game entirely.
That's so cool.
So we're on to the next level. So we've only been playing as Fear so far, but this next level is going to introduce us playing as other characters. We're actually going to be switching to Sadness. You'd think Sadness would be the less useful character in the game, but she can slam her face into the ground and just yeet forward. That was found actually only about a couple months ago by Bamford. And that has completely revolutionized the game yet again, just like a month or two ago.
Why does that happen? What's the...
We don't know. Basically, you she slams her face into the ground, and then you jump, and then she can fly forward, so...
That's crazy.
It's very powerful.
It's like, it carries the momentum from her hitting the ground, like her going down, but then you just push it forward instead from jumping.
It doesn't send you as far as Spring Boost, so we're still going to be using Spring Boost all throughout the run, but it's very useful for sections where there isn't a spring, or being able to chain it with other things as well. So there's these memory workers that we can put at these worker stations, and they just activate some sort of machine.
They like turn on platforms or open doors
Turn
or
on
something.
platforms.
Yeah.
There's also these broccoli enemies that we're gonna try to avoid as much as possible. They can be very annoying.
But I like broccoli.
Broccoli's decent. It's not terrible. So another thing that we can do with switching characters is we can actually do a swap jump. So if we swap characters, then as soon as the character swaps, we can actually get an extra mid-air jump. So we can do that to jump up there, and then we switch back over to Fear because he's the fastest.
Where'd that come from?
Gonna be doing another dimension break here. We're gonna be going behind these blocks and then jumping back in. And then we're gonna try staying dimension break here, in order to skip having to get this memory all the way on the left side and just jump around these blocks. Very nice. So we are now on to our next 3D level, and this is going to show off the sadness flying quite a bit more. We actually use every emotion in this game except for anger. Anger's the one character we don't use. So this level introduces all of the emotions and each move that they can perform.
Anger tries to keep his cool, but he's a bit of a hothead. He can walk across lava.
And you can switch between characters whenever, right?
Yeah, so you can switch characters with the pause menu pretty much whenever. Fun fact, this game was released on console and it was one of those Toys to Life games, kind of like Amiibo or Skylanders, so on the console version you actually have physical characters that you switch between, but for the PC version you have access to all of them and you have a menu that you can use to switch.
That only they can perform.
Yeah, I noticed that, like, on Disney Infinity, if you buy the PC version, they just unlock all the which for you.
Yeah.
Why she can
really
stand
nice.
on clouds without them fading
Yeah, so this level introduces all the characters. Disgust is able to jump up clouds, Sadness can stand on clouds without them fading away, and also the big flying thing. Fear can run really fast, Joy has a flutter, and Anger can stand on lava, which is useless to us, so...
Because you just jump over that stuff.
Yeah. So it's pretty funny, when Sadness Flying was found, before that point, Sadness was only used once in the run, and it's kind of similar to the movie, where it's like, in the movie they thought, oh, Sadness isn't very useful, but it turns out she's a very powerful emotion. We should have listened to the message of the movie, and realized Sadness is very powerful. So we're going to be doing a pretty massive skip. We're going to be chaining Sadness Flying and swap jumping here. So we are going to be switching to Joy, and then switching back over to Fear. So we're going to fly here, do a hover with Joy, and then do a final swap jump at the end there. Do a double swap jump with a Sadness Fly and a Joy Flutter to get all the way to the end there. That's a really massive skip. That was a skip that I was wanting to find for so long, and when Sadness Flying was finally found, was able to finally do that.
Crack the code.
cracked the code. Yeah. So one thing about extended spring boost versus normal spring boost is you can actually keep your momentum after hitting a wall. Keep your spring boost momentum after hitting a wall. Whereas with just a normal tap spring boost, those don't send you as far, and also if you hit a wall, your momentum will just be killed completely. One thing about these memory workers is that if we jump and then pick them up, we actually run a lot faster. If we pick them up normally, Fear would run way, way slower. So that's something we're gonna always do while... Yeah, so we're gonna make our way over here. Try to avoid these bowls. These bowls can be very annoying. Gonna do spring boost here, grab this memory. And then we're going to jump on these blocks just to get a little bit of extra distance. And that is the end of that level. On to another 2D level. This level is a little bit slower paced, so if there's any donations or anything the host would like to read out, now would be a good time.
At the moment, we do not have any more donations, but we do just want to remind you guys we do have some amazing incentives that we still want to see met going into tomorrow. For Hardcore Uprising by Anti-Aaron, we can upgrade that run to make it a blindfolded run, so we can force the runner to go blindfolded. So if you would like to see that, please do get your donations in. Otherwise, too, we still have our Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, finishing with the fish. So if you would like to see the runner go out of the way to grab the fish to finish the game with a fish, sounds a little fishy to me, but hey, I'm sure it'll be great. Then you want to get your donations in for that. I know we have some hefty donation goals for this event, but we want to see as many of these incentives be met as possible. So please, guys, do continue to get all of your donations in. We also do have, for the Star Wars The Force Unleashed run, you can make C-3PO kill Darth Vader at the end of the run. Why? Well, you're going to have to meet that donation incentive in order to find out. So please, guys, continue to get your donations in. Thank you so much for the donations that we have so far. We still have a lot of marathon left to go, so let's continue to make this the best year of running for reals yet.
Awesome, thank you so much. So I did Dimension Break throughout this level just to skip through a couple of things. If you switch characters while you're in Dimension Break, that will actually put you back into 2D. So once I did some swap jumps there, I was no longer in 3D movement. Can do another extended spring boost there.
There's like no reason for you to like... Sorry, go ahead.
That spring boost you can't actually do an extended. Sometimes if you're like too close, certain places extended spring boosts don't work and you have to do a normal one just because there's a little bit of a charge up animation.
I guess wind's not so scary when I can
I was just gonna say, when you came out of Dimension Break, there was no need for it anymore, right? That's why you did that? Otherwise,
yeah, there's no need for it at that point. All the things that we would use it for were already passed, so...
Okay.
Yeah, that is something with routing this game, routing like character swaps and routing Dimension Break and just trying to find the optimal order for everything. And later on we're actually going to see some instances of like swapping characters that uses a special ability and chaining that into a swap jump. So lots of routing opportunity with this game, and that was a very nice spring boost. That spring boost is pretty difficult to do because you have to land right on the edge. You have to make sure you don't land in the lava, otherwise you'll die, and you have to make sure you don't land on the spring, otherwise you'll bounce up. So got that very quickly. And Fear's icon in the top left.
Really hard.
Fear's icon in the top left is glitched right now. That just happens sometimes. Don't worry about it.
But I'm way too freaked out.
I'm trying to figure out what part of his body that is. Is that his hair?
That is his eyebrow, I believe.
Eyebrow.
Yeah. So this level introduces us to these colored switches that will go on a cycle based on the movement, and we can turn them on and off to have different platforms. So we're going to be up to turning switches on and off throughout the run. So right now red's off, so this platform won't go on. Green's on, so we'll be able to get up here just in time. And then we're going to be doing another dimension break here. And then I'm going to be scooching myself back just a couple times, and then that'll just allow us to jump on the edge of that block. And then we're going to stay in dimension break. Usually we have to go up there to get that memory, but we can just walk right past it and finish the level. Alright, this is Mental Minutes 2. This is a very challenging, very satisfying level with lots of skips, so we're gonna try to land on that spring. I'm going to switch over to Sadness right before I do an extended spring boost. Oh, I went a little bit too far. Way too far. Let's try that again. One thing about
pretty cool how you can
characters...
kind of combine that stuff, though.
Yeah, that's very fun, being able to combine swaps and all that. Alright, we'll try this again. And then we're gonna do a nice little fly here. And then, since we switched to Sadness, so we could do the fly, and then we're gonna switch back to Fear to get a little swap jump. So, just tiny little routing things like that, where it lines up just perfectly, the character swapping and the abilities.
This place is going to haunt me forever.
I also noticed there's like balloon collectibles. What's the point of those?
Yeah, so the balloon collectibles, they're just extra collectible. They would be used for like 100% or an all balloons. There's like 500 and there's like a couple hundred in each level. They don't really serve any purpose except for just an extra collectible to get 100% in any given level. So we're going to be doing a couple more Sadness flies here, just to get around these blocks. Before Sadness flying was found, we actually used Joy's hover and a swap jump to get around those, but with Sadness we can just kind of fly around them.
I do remember you using Joy actually for that.
Yeah. Yeah, the run has changed quite a bit since Sadness flying was found. There's quite a few new things and new possibilities. It's really like a third revolution of the game. Because like spring boosting was found, and that changed the game when I first started running it. And then dimension break was found, and that completely revolutionized the 2D levels. And now Sadness flying was found. It's just crazy. This game keeps getting crazier and crazier by the week. It's insane.
Game keeps on giving.
Yep. I did another dimension break there just to skip a little bit, and I'm keeping it here so I can do another memory skip. Upcoming. Depositing memory here. Just gonna jump up here. I jumped up there just to gain a little bit of height. Uh-oh. I fell. Alright, I think also dying also brings you back into 2D, so I'm gonna have to do this normally now. That's okay. As you can see, dimension break is pretty jank sometimes, and a lot of weird things can happen, like, and it's very easy to accidentally go out of bounds, and, because the camera isn't really designed for it, so you can just almost happened again there.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, if you were to look at this level in a 3D environment, the platforms you're walking on are probably really, really narrow.
Yeah, really narrow. The thing is, some platforms have more depth to them than others, because since this game is 2D and 3D, the assets are made for both, but some of them are not positioned correctly for you to be able to move in 3D or stuff, so
right.
It all just depends on what the collision is, because it wasn't really made for it. And the camera angle is so fixed that, like, it's hard to see exactly where you're going as well. Alright, so we're on to the next level. This is a pretty short level here. Kill this broccoli so it doesn't get in the way. One thing about this game, which is similar to Toy Story 3, which is another game made by this developer, is sometimes when dashing, your character will lock on to enemies or broccoli or things, and it can be very annoying. So that's something I'm always looking out for, making sure my dash won't lock onto an enemy or something. So for this section here, usually we'd have to wait for this cloud to disappear, but we can actually go on the side there just to drop through, do an extended spring boost, and then right before I finish this level, I'm going to switch to Disgust. Disgust is, we're going to use her cloud jumping ability, and then a swap jump at the beginning of this level, so we're going to jump on this cloud, and then I'm going to swap back over to Fear, bounce up on the cloud, and then chain that with the swap jump. That's a really nice example of the routing ability of just like chaining the cloud jump with the swap jump and it lining up just perfectly. I love routing this game. This game is so fun. I might have said this before the technical issues, but I started running this game a couple of years ago, and there's like one casual level run, like one pretty casual, just playing the game normally type of run. And I've loved how being able to break this game apart and finding all these new tricks, finding spring boosting, finding a whole bunch of spring boosts for different sections, and just seeing this game grow more and more. From such a young, obscure, not really well-run game to getting friends involved and having them run, and it's just been so awesome. I love this game so much. It's also my favorite movie of all time, Inside Out.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing the swap jump there and doing one more.
What I unveil today.
Another weird thing is that when swapping characters, it actually takes a little bit before you're able to grab memories or grab holes or certain things. So that's another thing we have to look out for with routing is character swapping, making sure you can grab a memory in time. So this is by far the shortest level of the run. It's pretty short already, but if we just jump up here, there's this little spring here, and the level exit is right over here, so just fly over to the end.
Nice.
Alright, so this upcoming level is very cycles-based, so we're gonna see how well this goes.
It startled me.
Right here, turn that switch on.
This stops that.
Then we're gonna bounce up here, break this block. Still on a good cycle.
You can do this.
Gonna do an extended spring boost here. Bounce up here. And lines up with this moving block perfectly. Alright, so we're gonna do another dimension break here, and we're gonna try to do a spring boost and hit that block. Sometimes this spring boost gets you all the way up to this platform here. For some reason, a lot of times it doesn't, and I fall just short of it, which is really annoying. And then we're gonna do another extended spring boost to go flying here.
This be happening. Riley's never watching TV ever
Those two
again.
spring boosts, you kind of have to break a block as you're flying, and sometimes if you don't time your shot just right, you won't actually. The block will get in your way and stop your momentum. Yeah, the rest of this level is pretty simple, so if you have any more blurbs you'd like to read, now would be a good time.
Well, I'd like to just say that I'm excited for the bid war for Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen a speedrun of part 2, so I kind of hope that one wins.
You guys definitely want to get your donations in for that. That run is so cool to see, and I'm not just saying that because I'm part of that community. But the run is super sick, and you guys do want to get your donations in. Currently, right now, Spider-Man 2000 is in the lead at $50, and Enter Electro is trailing by $5, but you can still definitely get your donations in. In the meantime as well, too, we did get a $25 donation from The Ball, which says, with a comment that says, I'm rolling. So, I guess he really did get the ball rolling. Thank you so much for your donation. With that donation, that did put Boy in the lead for the Queen's gender. So you guys can see now that boy is in the lead over boy and girl. So if you would like to change fate in that way, make sure you guys get your donations in for that. For a mere $26, you can get girl back up in the lead, and you don't have to do it $26 all at once. If a bunch of you guys want to do a $5 train to get girl in the lead, you can do that, but I would love to see right now a $5 train from everybody in chat to push Enter Electro above Spider-Man 2000. Let's see the love for Spider-Man 2 Enter Electro right there, as that run will be coming up here tomorrow morning, and you definitely want to get as many donations in. Another just quick announcement that I do want to make for everybody is just because we are approaching the end of day 1 does not mean that you have to stop donating if the stream is not live. If you find some extra change and you decide you want to donate at 2 o'clock in the morning, you can go ahead and pop the links back up in the stream and go and put your donations in. So make sure you guys continue to donate and support Running for Reals, because as you support us, you support the Real Hope Project, which helps multiple children to be out of foster care and into a forever family, which is why we are here to help the children find a forever family and a home that will love them unconditionally.
Awesome, thank you so much for that. That previous level, we did some pretty fun out of bounds and satisfying, and a pretty difficult swap jump that took me a while, but we got there. You know, we just gotta make your way up here to grab this memory. Sometimes this memory can spawn lower, which is a lot faster. It's kind of random, kind of... It's weird. It didn't spawn down there, though.
Hey, stop!
Now we're gonna make our way over here. Try not to ground pound, that's dumb.
I wasn't scared out of my wits. I'd hope to never see your ugly faces again. But here we
And just gotta turn this switch on and try to abuse our invincibility frames just to not have to worry about those. A lot of these 2D levels, the strat is kind of just take damage and then use your iframes as much as possible to get past a lot of obstacles, whether it be broccoli or spiky balls or just all the annoying stuff.
There was like some like fish guy too earlier.
There's the swamp monsters, those guys too.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, these are the swamp monsters. Also, I guess the story of this game, to be honest, since I played New Game Plus, which basically New Game Plus, we play on a completed file, so we're able to skip cutscenes, and there's also like a Candy Crush minigame that you have to play on a new file. It's weird, it's dumb. I think the story is that Riley's asleep and had nightmares, and now we're trying to get Imagination Land back up in order because swamp monsters are invading the mind or something like that. I don't think this game is canon, to be honest, especially with the recent release of Inside Out 2.
I was gonna say there was no references from this game in the new one.
No, not at all.
Oh, great.
Disney has completely forgot about this game.
Yeah.
Speaking of Inside Out 2, chat, have you seen it, and what did you think of it if you did? I have seen Inside Out 2, I saw it on the day of release. I've actually seen it a few times, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a great companion piece to the first movie.
I have not seen it myself personally, but it is on my watch list.
Yeah. So this level introduces us to these gravity changers, and as you can see here, we can do a neat little roll through them to preserve some momentum. And these gravity changers can also be pretty janky and pretty glitchy, which is annoying in a couple of places, but it's also going to be very useful in some other places later on. So we're gonna make our way up here, ground pound this, roll back through.
Brute force goes against my very nature. It's the only way to get rid of these creatures. Gotcha. Well, it's not the worst thing.
Just barely missed the cycle. That's go ahead.
If you were to like to break the game, I forgot what you called it.
Dimension break?
In this level, yeah. If you were to do that, would it be kind of jank because like
It's very
you don't
jank.
go through the portal thing?
Yeah, so Also, I'm doing a swap jump through a gravity changer here. Didn't quite get it, but I can back this up. So the gravity changers plus dimension break is very jank. It's kind of different depending on the level. Sometimes the gravity changers extend throughout the entire level. Some places they do, some places they don't. It's very strange. We're actually going to be abusing that in a late level later on, but it's very jank, and I'm sure there's still more potential for dimension break stuff in these gravity changing levels, but it's gonna take a lot more searching and research. So, if you want to help contribute to the progression of the speedrun for this game, we would love to have you. There's not a lot of runners for this game, but I think this is such an underrated speedrun, and we would love to get more runners running this game, more people looking into it, doing runs, get some competition on that leaderboard. Would love to have you. We have a speedrun.com page, Inside Out, speedrun.com/InsideOut, all one word. We also have a Discord server if you want to join. So here I am doing a double jump while it's not quite working. Let me try this again. Gotta line this up just right. So I can jump and then do my double jump while picking the memory worker up, and that'll allow us to get this guy up here early. Usually we would have to go up and find a second memory worker and swap them around a bit, do some weird puzzle stuff. I don't like doing puzzles. Puzzles are weird and dumb, so the puzzle for me is being able to skip the puzzle. That's the puzzle for me. Sometimes the gravity changers can like knock us off this pole. Sometimes it can be pretty jank.
Yeah, once games introduce stuff like that, where it's like changing the gravity, it's just like so much potential for the game to break.
In good ways and in bad ways.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are going to be doing a neat little spring boost here, and possibly, if that lines up perfectly, you can actually do a double spring boost and keep your momentum, but land on the second spring and keep it flying. Here we're going to be doing a spring roll. We just roll off that spring to
spring rolls.
get there.
Sorry.
Spring roll, they're good. Nice little
Hungry
food
now.
pun. I need to get dinner after this.
Same.
Yes.
Alright, so that was Summer, Winter, and Falls 2. We are on to the third one. Also, I'm not mentioning the level names, but a lot of these levels are kind of in groups of 3, so we have kind of 3 themed levels out once. So we had 3 music levels, 3 cloud levels, 3 of these gravity changing levels. So all the levels are kind of in groups of 3.
How many levels are there?
There are, I believe there's 29 total levels in the run, so almost 30 levels, so there's lots of levels, lots of stuff to figure out and route and optimize, lots of fun. We also have a brand new IL leaderboard that doesn't have any times on it yet, but would also love to see people try getting ILs done.
I always tell people if they want to learn a game, but it's a little intimidating, whether because it's like really hard or it's super long, to just start doing IL runs first.
Exactly.
It
allows you to.
Yeah.
It allows you to learn the run and learn all the tricks, but you don't have to worry about committing to a full, like 55-minute to hour run.
Exactly. Plus, you get to see if you're gonna like it or not, instead of
exactly.
learning the game halfway through and then you don't like it.
Yeah. Disney Infinity 3.0, which is the game, the game that this playset is in. It does go on sale often. I believe it was like $5 during the recent summer sale, and I believe it also goes on sale during the winter sale as well. So I would highly recommend picking this game up, even if you're not into Inside Out specifically. There's a bunch of Star Wars playsets, there's a fun kart racing playset, there's lots of fun stuff in all the Disney Infinity games that I would highly recommend checking out. Not a lot of people really know what Disney Infinity is, other than that was a weird graphic change thing. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, there's lots of fun stuff.
If you buy Disney Infinity 3.0, it comes with all the playsets?
Yeah, so it comes with all the Star Wars playsets, all the Inside Out playsets, It comes with everything. All the characters for the
Nice.
PC version comes with
That's
that as
honestly
well.
a steal, because I remember when the game first came out and it was on console, like you were saying earlier, how you have to buy each individual figure and
Yeah,
the playset
yep.
separately.
Yeah, you have to buy each figure and each playset, so
Yeah.
everything costs a lot more, but like,
Crazy.
yeah, and there's 3 different Disney Infinity games. There's 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0, so with all of them on sale, you can get like a ton of content for like 15
Yeah.
bucks. It's amazing. This is a really precise spring boost. Got it first try. Landing on that
Nice.
cloud is a little bit tricky. That's probably the most like angle precise and most setup done with a spring boost. This spring boost, on the other hand, is a lot easier. As long as this tornado doesn't get in my way, which it kinda did, but
It did, but it saved you at the same time because it landed on the cloud.
yeah. I died, but I got a checkpoint, that's okay. This is a massive spring boost. This skips, I don't know how much of the level, like 20% of the level or something
A lot.
stupid like that. Making our way up here, gonna hit these swamp monsters so I don't lock onto them. These balls are very annoying sometimes. Bye-bye.
Kind of
Go
reminds
into
me
the
of
void.
It reminds me of the bully enemies from Mario 64,
Yeah.
especially with this area right here specifically because
Yeah,
there's
for
like
sure.
lethal lava land.
The lethal lava land, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
We have another massive extended spring boost here. And then we're going to be chaining a extended spring boost into a character swap in order to get up here. So I'm gonna time this just right. Oh, I got it, but I didn't spam jump fast enough. Okay. There we
There
go.
we go.
Second try. And
So
we're gonna...
does Disgust just have like a higher jump? Is that why you choose her?
So the reason I'm choosing Disgust, also here, this is a ball rolling stage, but we can actually get on the ball early and get a little bit of extra distance. But yeah, for swap jumps, the reason I'm actually switching to Disgust is because she's the first character on the menu, so I don't have to scroll as much. So whenever I don't need a specific character or a specific ability, I just switch to Disgust because she is the first character on the menu. But sometimes if I need like a hover or gonna chain it into a Satisfy, then I will use a different character instead.
Makes sense.
So yeah, these are the
Also-
ball rolling stages. It's monkey ball, but not as good.
I was gonna say this is giving
Ooh,
like
can you hear me?
Monkey Ball vibes, and I love like rolling games like this, so it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Usually the momentum on this ball is very weird and like it takes a ton of time for you to like change directions and build up momentum. But if you actually roll on the ball like once or twice when you first start it, it'll actually give you a lot more control over the movement, which is very nice.
No worries. I'm sorry?
Does anyone know
It's also
what
like a
happened
less
to
jank
Steve
version of that
Rogers?
Sonic game. I forgot what it was called. It was like an early one on like the
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I got no problem
Genesis,
doing
and they made, like,
the
a
meat.
different version on the
Oh,
Saturn.
is it 3D Blast? Sonic
Yeah,
3D
3D
Blast, I
Blast,
think? Yeah.
yeah.
I think that was also made by Traveler's Tales.
It was.
Yeah. So this next level is a
Okay.
pretty annoying
Just
level
just really
casually,
quickly.
but it
As
has
far as
a
the
full
audio,
level skip. So
yeah,
we are going
as
to
far as
be
the audio,
taking advantage of
are we
dimension
going to
breaking,
be basically
mixed with the fact
using
that
the
this level
Discord
has a
audio,
bunch of gravity
audio, or am
changers,
I
and we're going to be falling
inputting
vertically to the end of the level.
doing
So
some
we're going to start falling
audio
to the right, and then go through
sources
some gravity
onto
changers.
my
So
OBS?
it looks pretty cool. Blink and you'll miss it. So here we go. Do a dimension break. Go here.
I see. Okay.
Falling vertically.
Oh, I blinked. Dang it.
Boing. 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 And then we're going to ground pound right when we get to the end level trigger in order to stop ourselves.
That was like some Super Mario Galaxy
Okay.
stuff right
Okay.
there.
Yeah, that does remind me of like the Mario Galaxy type of movement, or some of the skips that they do in that run.
They skip like that. Yeah, it's so funny.
That spring boost didn't send me flying for some reason. some of the spring boosts are actually FPS dependent, so I'm playing this game at 100 FPS, which is kind of a good sweet spot between spring boosts not working, or because the lower your FPS is, the better spring boost will work. But you don't want your FPS to be too low, otherwise the camera will kind of drift, and if you go too fast, it'll not move too fast. So 100 FPS is about the sweet spot that I have found. I'm sure there's more experimenting can be done, but FPS is kind of, at least on PC, on console, it's locked to 30 FPS.
Does anyone do console runs?
No one does there have been like a couple of casual runs for console, but no one has actually done it. It's actually quite a different type of run. One, because of the FPS, and also the character switching has different timing, and you have to do it physically. I'm not supposed to be Joy here. I'm supposed to be Sadness. I don't know. I was doing the old route.
Well, I was gonna say, was that the old strat?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do a pretty precise Sadness fly here. Gotta time it just right, and do the Sadness fly and go through the gravity changer. Here I'm going to be doing a Sadness fly and grab the memory right after we fly, and we can bring the memory with us, which is very nice. Gonna do it again here.
After this, I don't think I'll get so upset when one of
Because usually, bringing those memories, you're not able to roll or dash or do any fun movement things while grabbing a memory. But with those with Sadness flying, if you grab a memory right after you fly, you're able to keep your momentum, which is very nice.
Get away! I'm allergic to moss and brackish water.
So this is one of the sections where we are going to be using Dimension Break with the gravity changers. And we're actually going to be using it. So we're going to get Dimension Break on this bottom side here. And then we're just going to kind of flip around to the other side of the level by just going in and then back out. And then hopefully...
So, you going out of bounds there, it thinks there's a gravity changer or whatever?
Yeah, so once you go like far enough forward and backwards, for a lot of the levels, the gravity changer just kind of extends infinitely for those. Okay.
So even though you can't see it, it's there.
Yeah. So there's one just kind of right outside the realm there, and also somewhat inside the level as well. Alright. That's a pretty tricky Dimension Break to get right, and like I said, they can be very jank, so it can mess up like that sometimes, but we got it.
Nice. Also, could I just say, like, the level design is super cool. There's, like, so much detail in every single level.
Yeah, I love the color palette, how vibrant this game is, and just the level design and all the imagination elements mixed into them. I love the level design in this game. It's so cool.
Like,
play this game, please!
like,
I know I'm
honestly,
begging, but
like,
please play this.
Like, honestly, like, I did not expect a Disney Infinity playset to, like, cook this hard, you know? Like, I feel like they could have released this as a standalone game.
I honestly, so fun fact, before Disney Infinity, Disney was making like tie-in games, and then when Disney Infinity came out, that kind of became their replacement for movie tie-in games. Avalanche Software, which made Disney Infinity, their game that came before Disney Infinity 1 was Toy Story 3, so...
It was like a
this
prototype
kind of
because they had the toy box mode.
Exactly, and Disney Infinity also has a toy box mode. Doing another Sadness Fly just to, and combining that with a swap jump just to make our way up there to skip some ground pound stuff.
Is there a Toy Story playset for Disney Infinity?
There, so on Disney Infinity 1.0, there is a Toy Story in Space playset, which is actually pretty interesting. I've also ran that before.
To check that one out.
Yeah. So, we're going to do an extended spring boost to the right, and then we are going to spring boost to the left to grab this memory, and then we're going to to Sadness Fly all the way back to the right, and try not to die.
I like how she's just like, darn.
To the left, to the right.
To the left, to the right, to the right.
I messed this up just a tiny bit, but...
Hi there.
There we
There
go.
Nice.
Alright, so we are going to be staying as Sadness at this part, to do some more really fun, really far Sadness flies. Sadness flying plus gravity changers, you can get some insane boosts, some insane flies. So we're going to be lining up just right here, doing a Sadness fly through this gravity changer and land on top of this right here. And that skips having to activate some springs and doing some spring rolls and stuff.
I bet that was fun to route when Sadness Flying was found.
That was actually found kind of on accident. So when Sadness Flying was found, we were trying different places, and that happened to be the first place, and I happened to fly exactly at that spot. I'm like, oh, that sends us flying exactly. That's perfect. Yeah, it's been so fun since Sadness Flying was found to try to find different places to utilize it, and also try to route out like which places to use Fear for spring boosts and fast movement, and then which places to use Sadness with the flying. So I did a ground pound there in order to go through that gravity changer and then do a neat little spring boost. You're supposed to be on the top side for this, but we're just on the bottom side. Do a nice little spring boost here. And then pretty much the rest of this level is pretty casual. There's not too much skip-wise going on for the rest of this level, so if the host has any more things they would like to read out, now would be a good time.
Oh no! Riley could wake up at any moment, and then where would we be? Nightmare Town, USA, that's where!
At the moment, we do not, unless my dashboard deceives me, I do not believe we have had any more donations come in. But, you know, we still have got one more run coming up after this. We have Toro Knight running Spyro Reignited Trilogy, Spyro 3. I believe that's Year of the Dragon is the name of it. We'll be running any percent. It's going to be a super fantastic run to close out our evening, so make sure you guys stick around for that. Continue to get your donations in. Just as a reminder, we are supporting the Real Hope Project. The goal of the Real Hope Project is to make a video for all youth in their focus states, which are Minnesota, North Dakota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Idaho, Wyoming, and Colorado. And they want to make these video for youth who are experiencing foster care and want and awaiting an adoptive family. Each reel is provided free of charge to the representing county or adoption agency as a recruitment resource for prospective families. Through these videos, the families can see more than just the trauma associated with the child. They can see their hobbies, things that they love to do, and what it means for them to be a part of a family. You can learn more about what the Real Hope Project does at therealhopeproject.org. So go visit their website. You can see just some amazing videos about kids and just see the impact that the Real Hope Project has throughout the entire country and just for many kids out there. And if you are enjoying what you're watching so far in this event, make sure you guys join our Discord, where you can meet runners, staff, and volunteers and hang out as we look to host more community events and grow together as a Running for Reals community. You can use !Discord in the chat to get the link to our Discord and get involved with our community. We have a lot of areas where we want to expand our group. We're looking at hopefully even next year expanding into a 24-hour marathon. However, in order to do this, we need your guys' help. We cannot do this alone. So please, if you are loving what we are doing here, use !Discord and ask Zojalex, that would be myself, to see if there's a role that you might be good for. So thank you guys again so much for being here and for supporting this wonderful marathon.
Alright, so we are on to the final 3 platforming levels of the run. And I just did a pretty tricky swap jump. I got first try, which is very nice. Gonna be switching over to Sadness just to do a simple little flyover, since we're swapping characters and whatnot. One thing I do want to mention about the previous level, there is a potential skip there, similar to the one that we did in Brainstorms 3, where we just flew to the end of the level. using Sadness Fly, there you are able to get pretty far, but you're not actually able to get to the end level. It's kind of jank, but there is a potential fun-looking skip there. Just gonna do one more Sadness Fly here to get to the end of this level. And then we have one more ball rolling stage. And once again, we are going to be getting onto the ball early. And if we time it right, we can just fall down this hill right here.
So, like, is the hitbox for it still there, like the collision?
Yeah, so the collision for it's still there, but the ball is just invisible until you actually spawn in. Fun fact, that was actually accidentally found by Thermal Square when I was teaching him this game. He was just running around and saw an X prompt that was like, press X to get on the ball. And then he's like, huh, wait a minute, I accidentally found something. Because Thermal is the king of accidentally finding speedrun skips. He has accidentally found so many skips in a lot of games. So that was definitely a very nice surprise when we found that you can get on that ball early and get a little bit of extra distance. So we're going to be using this fan here just to skip those blue buttons and getting that blue ramp up. Also been doing a couple of other button ramp skips. Again, rolling while we're on the ball makes our momentum a lot easier to control and gives more potential for being able to just kind of bounce up things. That was found kind of recently that that happens. Gonna press these buttons. Alright, we got one more platforming level before the final boss of the run. And this is the level where we discover that the swamp monsters are coming out of the boyfriend generator. So what we're supposed to do is turn off the boyfriend generator so that it stops spawning swamp monsters.
Think about what that would do to her.
So we're gonna do a neat little swap jump here. But I don't really feel like turning the boyfriend generator off. I feel like Riley's more of a lesbian, so we're just gonna skip. We're just gonna skip it. We're gonna do what's called boyfriend skip. This is a really fun skip. There's actually a newer method now that Sadness Flying was found. So we are going to switch to Sadness here, and we're gonna go onto these clouds, and then we're going to switch over to Joy, do a Sadness Fly, and swap jump at the very end. Ah, you almost got it.
Okay, that was a surprise.
That was so close. We'll try this one more time. Actually, so that is the new way of doing boyfriend skip. Since we have time, I actually want to show off the old way of doing boyfriend skip, just because I think it's really cool. Because we basically saw. So the old way of doing it is you basically line yourself up with a spring, and then you have to time your spring boost just right while swapping to Joy. There's also this cutscene here that you have to avoid. I went too far back with my lineup. Get rid of these swamp monsters here. Line this up. I went way too early on that.
Which one's harder to do?
This one is definitely the harder method. The new boyfriend skip with the Sadness Fly, it's faster and it's also quite a bit easier. I'm just showing this off because I think it's a fun looking skip.
It's always nice though when like the new trick is not only faster but easier too.
Yeah. Alright. There we go. So we spring boost around these pillars and then switch to Joy to hover to the end. That was the old method of boyfriend skip. The new method is using a Sadness Fly on those clouds and then switching to get a swap jump at the very end. So we have one more level. This is the boss level. And since we're ahead of schedule, I actually want to show off a fun little out of bounds that was found recently in this level. So if you notice this this level select world, that might seem you might wonder, where is that? Well, if we do a quick little swap jump here, we can go out of bounds here, and then if we fall,
It startled me.
and I'm going to switch back over to Joy.
And in one piece.
And the level
the-
select hub is right underneath the boss fight, which is really cool, and you can actually stand here and be here.
Wow.
It's so cool. So this is the level select hub. There's actually no way to get back to the boss, so I'm gonna have to exit back and redo the boss fight. I just wanted to show that off because that is awesome. Unfortunately,
That's so cool
I
that
don't.
they made the level select like an actual like environment instead
Yeah,
of
an actual environment that you can get to somehow.
Scarier than
Yeah.
the unknown.
I don't think this is a possibility, but it would, if it was, it would be really cool if you could go to that section and then there was somehow like a debug trigger or something in order to complete, in order to skip this boss fight. That would be a really cool way to skip this boss fight if there's some sort of debug trigger. Unfortunately, I
credits
don't,
warp.
like a credits warp or something. I don't think there is, but you never know. Maybe there is somewhere. More people looking means more potential for
You
a skip
start
for this section.
sadness flying all over it.
Yeah, exactly. So this final boss fight is has 3 different phases to it, and we need Jingles to smash these the final few swamp monsters that are left after disabling the boyfriend generator that we totally did in the last level. So this is pretty simple. We just got to have Jingles smash this 3 times, get enough swamp monsters. And then here there is usually this timer and this little celebration sequence that we have here. But if we pop all of the balloons, we can actually make this celebration end early and get another celebration sound. So that can skip that. That's only possible on the first and third phase for some reason. For some reason, it's not possible on the second phase. I don't know why, it's just not.
Next round.
So now we have to smash 20 swamp monsters, so I'm waiting just a moment so there's enough swamp monsters for the first smash. And then they're actually going to... oh, apparently not. Usually for the second phase, they would mix up which buttons are for which platforms. Kind of randomly, but that time it didn't.
Why does she have a big head?
Because she got eaten by a swamp monster or something, and now it's inflated.
It reminded me of like the Incredibles.
Yeah, Incredibles big head
code.
mode. Alright, so that's the end of the second phase. Even if you pop all the balloons here, it's not really possible to skip this celebration sequence. It just keeps going. So for this final one, it's gonna do that weird like magic trick thing where like the cups shuffle around on the ground and shuffle about. So they try to make it a little bit more complicated each time for each phase, but it's still pretty simple to do. So time is coming up in just about 30 seconds from now. Actually just got the default pattern again.
Good RNG.
Yeah. The RNG here, it doesn't, there's not really good or bad RNG. You just have to really quickly see, like, okay, I need to quickly see greens in the middle, hit middle. Alright, that is the end of phase 3. Got one more sequence here where we're going to pop these balloons. Gonna use my wave attack here just to pop some balloons faster, and then pop these final few balloons. Alright. And time.
Nice.
Awesome. That
GG.
was Disney Infinity Inside Out New Game Plus. That was a pretty decent run. Some mistakes here and there, but overall, very happy with that. thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much, Spaghetti, for helping me commentate and fill in dead air and ask me questions, because sometimes I don't know what to say during runs and I just get silent. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for running for reals. For
we're supposed to be doing.
this, guys, can you stop talking and interrupting my outro? Can you stop here? I'm turning you off. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to find me, I'm IzzyHope58. I run a ton of Pixar games. I've run every Pixar game, so if you want to see more of that, more movie games, I also run other games as well. Feel free to follow me there. Spaghetti, where can people find you at?
Same thing. So Spaghetti here on Twitch. I already gave you guys my spiel an hour ago, so I won't do that. But thank you everyone for watching. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. It was fun commentating. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for running for reals, and hope you have a good rest of the marathon.
Yep. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you so much, Izzy Hope, for that incredible Inside Out run. We're going to be tossing into another quick intermission, and when we come back, we will be going to our final run of the night, which is Spyro Reignited Trilogy Year of the Dragon, 80% by Toro Knight. So do not go anywhere, guys.